Ms. Rios, we're just going to wrap up the conversation we were having with Mr. Andrews, your other client. He doesn't need to come back out. We're good. I just wanted you to affirm on the record that you spoke with Mr. Andrews and he wants to persist in his plea. Great. All right. Now we'll turn to Mr. Williams. This is our final plea for the day, position 725 SC 005677, State versus Patrick Williams. Mr. Williams, good afternoon.
Yeah.
He is here in court with his lawyer, Ms. Rios. Ms. Smith represents the state. And Mr. Williams, Ms. Rios tells me you're ready to enter a plea. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's what we're going to do. Ms. Smith will put you under oath. Please answer her questions and please let me know if at any point you've got questions of your own.
Were both cases on the calendar, or is this a plea to 2 cases?
Is it? Okay, what's the other case number? Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay. What's the other case number?
SC 004703.
Did you know you were pleading to
Yes,
2
sir.
cases?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one of them is terroristic threats. That's the 677. What's the 703? Entering auto. Okay. You're going to be pleading to 2 cases and I'll hear about both of them. And if I accept your plea, I'll give you a sentence in both of them. Okay? When you're ready, Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Williams, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in the matter currently before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can lower your hand. Please state your true, correct, and legal name for the court.
Patrick Andrew Williams.
Are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
I take medication for schizophrenia, but I'm not under influence in the alcohol or drugs.
Did you take your medication today?
Yes, sir.
Do you take it in the morning or at night?
In the morning and night.
Both. Did you get it this morning?
Yes, sir.
When you take that medication, does it make you woozy or drowsy?
At nighttime, it kind of do, but
It helps you sleep at night,
yeah,
but the morning one doesn't wipe you out.
nah.
Okay, you feel like you understand what we're talking about here.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Mr. Williams, how old are you and how far have you gone in school?
I'm 31 years old and I graduated high school.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges? And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney about all of the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charges in this indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need more time to discuss your case with your attorney?
No, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with her services?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are you satisfied that your client has a full understanding of this proceeding?
Yes.
Also, do you waive the formal reading of the indictment and any and all defects in the indictment for the purposes of this plea?
Yes.
Mr. Williams, do you remember being arrested on these charges?
I remember the auto entering, that was about 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago. And this is a new charge. Yeah.
The state is unaware of any outstanding warrants related to these charges. Are you or your attorney aware of any outstanding warrants related to these charges?
No.
Do you understand that this is a negotiated plea of guilty, which means that the state will recommend to the court a sentence of 5 years to serve 8 months with the balance probated?
Yes.
Do you understand that the court does not have to accept that recommendation and that the court can sentence you to the maximum on each charge and can run those sentences consecutively?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special conditions of probation without being subject to revocation for the balance of the sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that this is a guilty plea, which is permanently recorded on your criminal history?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're charged with a crime in the future, that this plea may be used to enhance that sentencing, even on a federal case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently on probation?
Not that I know of.
And are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be following a conviction from a trial? For example, your guilty plea may affect your right to vote, the right to hold public office, the right to serve on a jury, the right to obtain a passport, or the ability to obtain employment.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, you cannot use, receive, possess, transport, or own a firearm, and that if you did, you could be charged with another felony offense.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering a plea of guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the following rights? The right to a trial by jury, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, the right to see and hear the witnesses called to testify against you, the right to the assistance of counsel, either hired by you or court appointed if you cannot afford an attorney, the right to the presumption of innocence, which means that the state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of these charges, the right to testify on your own behalf or remain silent, the right to present other evidence of your own and call your own witnesses, and the right to appeal if convicted of these charges after the trial.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are you satisfied that your client understands that these are the rights that they'll be waiving by entering this guilty plea?
Yes.
Mr. Williams, has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter into this guilty plea?
No, ma'am.
As to indictment number 25 SC 005677, how do you plead to count 1, terroristic threats and acts, count 2, willful obstruction of law enforcement officers?
Guilty.
And as to indictment number 24 SC 004703, how do you plead to count 1, entering automobile or other motor vehicle with intent to commit theft, and count 2, loitering and prowling?
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with full knowledge of the charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you do not have a right to appeal your guilty plea conviction, but if you feel like there has been some type of error in your guilty plea, that you can apply to the appropriate appellate court to request a discretionary appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that that has to be completed within 30 days from today?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you have only 4 years from today for a felony charge and 12 months from today for a misdemeanor charge to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Your Honor, if this case were to proceed to trial, starting with the indictment ending in 5677, the state would show that on June 12th, 2025, Atlanta Police Department officers responded to a criminal trespass call at 1217 Metropolitan Parkway, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. That's in Fulton County and is also the location of a Chevron food mart. When the officers got there, they were met by the defendant in this case, Mr. Williams. He started to shout at them that he would kill the officers and that he would shoot the officers. These statements were made to the officers when they tried to make contact with the defendant inside of the Chevron food mart. The officers then had a chance to speak with the owner of the food mart, who advised the officers that the defendant had been causing a disturbance that entire day at the store, and that they called the officers for some type of assistance to remove him from that location. When the officers tried to arrest the defendant in this case, he started to flee. However, he was apprehended after a short foot chase. The defendant was then placed under arrest for the charges we have here in the indictment ending in 5677. For the indictment that ends in 4703, if this case were to proceed to trial, the state would show that on June 6, 2024, officers with the Atlanta Police Department responded to I got it in here, so. They responded to the Fire Station 14 fire station that's in Atlanta, Georgia, also Fulton County. When they got there, they spoke with firefighters who were at that location. They said that a black male jumped the gate and was breaking into vehicles. One of those vehicles that were broken into was Lieutenant Ryan Orrin Jones. They advised that Mr. Jones advised that when he went back to his car that night, he opened the trunk and the defendant was there sleeping. He then saw his compartments in his car opened and saw that his cologne and glasses were missing. The officer was then advised by the people at the location that the defendant was walking down Lee Street. The officer then canvassed down Lee Street / Arlington Avenue, where they were able to make contact with the defendant in his case that matched the description of the person that was breaking into the cars. The officer then also found the cologne and glasses found on the person of the defendant that belonged to the victim in this case. At that time, the defendant was placed under arrest for the charges we have in indictment 4703. Mr. Williams stated that he was in the car that day sleeping because he was trying to find some type of safety, and that's the reason why he was in the car. I did get a chance to speak with Ryan Jones, the person whose car was broken into that day, that firefighter, and he did say he didn't have a issue with the offer that we were given as a global in these two cases. And that he's moved on from that situation. However, those are the facts and circumstances in the indictment ending in 4703. Regarding the negotiated plea between the state and defense, we've agreed to a global sentence of 5 years to serve 8 months, balance probated, with the balance probated. It's my understanding that the defendant has already served the 8 months, so it'll be credit for the time he's already served. Regarding the special conditions of probation, the state is recommending for the defendant to complete an anti-theft course, an alcohol and drug abuse evaluation with treatment if necessary, for the defendant to stay away from that Station 14 firehouse, to also stay away from that Chevron food mart, for him to have no contact with I may take that one out because Mr. Jones may respond to an incident. For the defendant to be gainfully employed, and not a condition, but encouraged for the defendant to participate with PAD. I believe that Ms. Rios told me that he's been accepted. So just encouragement on him working with PAD.
Sure.
And that's all from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Stallworth, what can you tell me about Mr. Patrick Williams?
He has 10 cycles total. There is a 2021 first offender conviction from Clayton County for fleeing or attempting to elude, giving false name, DUI, and driving without a valid license. There's a 2019 first offender conviction out of Fulton for robbery by intimidation. There is a current probation case, 21 SC 179341, for criminal damage to property second degree and terroristic threats. And then a 2022 FTA out of Coweta. Nothing further.
Thank you. And thanks for your help today. You are good to go. This is our last matter.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ms. Rios?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, let me ask Ms. Simpson first. It sounds like there's an open probation case. You're not sure? You've got the furrowed brow.
I'm looking.
Okay, you look into it while Ms. Rios tells us about Mr. Williams.
Yes, right. He's 31 years old. He does not have any children. He has been accepted to PAD. He is on SSI for his mental health struggles, including schizophrenia. I do want to say, I think we cannot do the requirement that him be employed, because sometimes being SSI messes that up. And he has a brother that's going to take him to the PAD program. He has ambitions of wanting to get a job at some point, and hopefully doing business. Moving business, he said, or construction. But first he wants to make sure he's getting his benefits and set that up. And it seems like he is self-medicating, but PAD helps with all those services. So he'll be getting that treatment with PAD, and I think he'll be on his feet. He's told me that he wants a better life and doesn't want to be involved with any of this anymore. So I'm hoping that you accept the plea as negotiated.
All right. Mr. Williams, tell me what you know about PAD.
I know it's a program that it helps, like, it helps. I know it helps you get your disability started. It can get you in the ACT team program, which I was in the ACT team before.
You were with Grady Act?
Graded ACT.
Okay.
They told me they gonna get me back in graded ACT team.
Good.
I know they give you somewhere to live. Right now I'm homeless, so there'll be
Do you have family in the Atlanta area?
I have a lot of family, but we are separate ways.
Okay. Got it. Well, PAD could be very helpful. I hope you take advantage of that. Were you on benefits for a while, but you lost them because you've been locked up?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. But PAD can help you get them started up again.
Sure.
Got it. Okay. Do you have any questions about anything we've talked about?
I got a question about probation, but she told me to ask it when I go there.
Okay. You are Already, are we on probation? We're not on probation.
The case name 5677 was a violation and he had a revocation in September and Judge Carnesel terminated the penalty.
Okay, so that one's closed out because of Judge Carnesale's ruling. Did she also revoke some time so that Mr. Williams is stuck?
He had revoked 5 months, which looks like.
Oh, he's done that, so we're covered. Okay, got it. So you are going to be back on probation, but it'll be probation for these two cases and not an older case. But Ms. Simpson or Ms. Rios can talk to you about probation. You're going to get out in the next couple days, so you're going to need to report to probation, and you'll get information about where to go and when you need to be there. You don't want to miss that first meeting. That's another thing PAD could help you with. If you go to PAD first off when you get out, that would be a wise move because they will start getting you connected with your benefits, maybe with supportive housing, and they'll certainly, and ACT, Grady ACT. But you will need to go to probation in a few days after you get out, okay? All right. Well, Mr. Williams, I find there is a factual basis for both your pleas. The one where I think you were clearly working through an episode and you were at the Chevron station and you fussed at the officer. And then a year earlier when you were at Station 14 in that fire responder's car. Also find that your pleas are knowing and voluntary. You are taking medication, but that medication helps you understand what's going on and keeps you stable and focused. And I noticed that throughout our conversation that you were very alert and understood and comprehended what was being discussed. And I find that the plea is voluntary, meaning no one's forcing you to enter these pleas. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Rios, can someone in my office sign both indictments, the surprise one and the one on the calendar?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Smith? All right. Mr. Williams, can we sign your name indicating your guilty pleas to the two cases?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll do that.
You want me to sign it or you?
No, we're going to electronically sign your name if you say yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we'll do that. Okay. In 25 SC 005 677, I am sentencing you on, it's count two a misdemeanor or it's a misdemeanor, he ran. Okay. Count one, I'm sentencing you to 5 years to serve 10 months with a balance on probation. Count two is 10 months to serve. So those are going to run concurrently with each other. In your other case, the 24 SC 004 703, it's 5 years to serve 10 months on count one, and then 10 months to serve for the loitering. Those will run together, and then both cases run together. So it's basically 4 years and 2 months of probation because you've already done your 10 months in custody. You will get out, not today, it's too late in the day, but you will get out tomorrow, maybe Thursday. But we'll push that paperwork along. Special condition of probation in both cases. Number one is that you submit to a drug and alcohol abuse evaluation. And that's just a way to figure out if there's any kind of treatment that would benefit you that would make sure you take the medicine you're supposed to and not the drugs that you're not supposed to. You also will need to stay away in one case, but really the whole time, from that Chevron station. And we'll, if you can get that address to Ms. Nelson. And in the other case, Station 14, which is a fire station, and that address will be in your sentence as well. Don't go around either of those places. If you need to go to a food mart, go to one of the thousands of other food marts around here, go to a different fire station. And I'll ask that probation assign you a mental health officer, someone who is attuned to your needs, is going to know what the ACT team does, and will be particularly supportive of the things you're trying to do to stay focused and stable and avoiding episodes like these. Okay? Ms. Rios, anything else on behalf of Mr. Williams?
All right, thank you.
Ms. Smith, on behalf of the state?
Nothing further.
Okay. Let's get on the record the reporting instructions, and then Ms. Simpson, I know you'll meet with Mr. Williams to tell him more.
It'll just be to report within 48 hours. We're gonna classify him as homeless, given that he is in the process of work with that. He just needs to make sure you update your address once Pat has assisted you with placing in housing.
Okay,
If he gets out on Thursday, your office is closed on Friday for Good Friday. So he shouldn't panic. He could just come on Monday. Okay.
they're not open on the weekend?
They're not open on the weekends. Normally they're open on Fridays, but this Friday is Good Friday.
I'd be able to come Friday.
Well, but they're not open. So, you should go Thursday if you can. You ought to get out tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and then just go the next day, go Thursday. But it could be that there's a hiccup or they think you have a warrant. It takes a while to clear it.
I'll make sure I call and see.
Okay. And it's just the latest you should go there is next Monday.
Yeah.
All right. Because they're going to be expecting you. And if you don't show up to do the intake, then they just send me a warrant and we don't need that. Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the things we discussed?
Oh, sir.
Okay. Ms. Simpson's going to come talk to you.
All right, thank you so much.
That's the address.
Thank you, everyone.